Hey, good morning. Happy Friday to you. This is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, where I am known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating. Yep, you got it, and to get your dreams out of your head into your life. Good morning, Shanti. Thank you so much for joining. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let's go ahead and invite a few people. I'm so proud of you, girl. I think you have been on here all week. Come on now, somebody. You're moving. So glad to see you. And just know that when you're here, it does not go unnoticed. But no, when you're not here, it goes unnoticed. I know when you're not here, so I'm so glad to, I am so glad to see you. So, we're not going to be on here long. We're going to do what we do, and we're going to get out of your way. We're going to do what we do, and we're going to get out of your way. Good morning, Nikita. Good morning, Regina. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, I see all that peaceful visualization. I just want to tell you this morning that there is nothing wrong with you dreaming. There is nothing wrong with you dreaming. You know, as I was thinking last night on a few things, and even this morning, when you think about everything that we have, it was somebody's thoughts. It was their thoughts. It was their thoughts. It was their desires. Good morning, Sherry. Thank you so much for joining. It was their thoughts and their desires and their relationship with God. It was the gifts, the purpose. It was the thing that God gave them to do. The thing that they have made an impact in the world. So there is nothing wrong with you dreaming. There is nothing wrong with you having a desire to impact the world. There's nothing wrong with you unwrapping the gifts that God gave you. So don't let don't let nobody tell you. And that's why I think a lot of people, they live their life, all their life, because they're afraid to say that I don't want to be a school teacher, or I don't want to be a nurse or a doctor. That's not what God called me to do. I don't want to be those things. You know, in school, I remember it was like a second grade, like a first grade, second grade conversation. Good morning, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining. A lot of times when they ask you what you want to be when you grow up, you didn't even know all that you could be. They didn't even know what your potential was. Back then, we were still learning how to talk and how to put sentence structures together and all these different sorts of types of things. They had no idea why God put us on here, on this earth. But they ask us, what you want to be? And see, that's where we get it mixed up. Sometimes we want to go and be what we want to be, but that's not who God created us to be. And so we would all, come up with something. I don't never think I came up with something. I don't know what I used to say, but anyway, but you'll hear different ones. I want to be a teacher, and I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a policeman. I want to be a fireman. But most people, most children at that age, they wanted to be that because somebody was that around them. Most children at that age, the things that they called was because of the things that they seen, and it was because of somebody that was around them. Their mama, their daddy, their uncle or auntie, or somebody in their family that they had been around, and they saw them in their police uniform, so they wanted to be like them. But do you know how many people actually grow up and be those things that they said they wanted to be when they was in school? How many of you are doing what you said you was going to do when you was in the second grade and when you was in the third grade? Good morning, Jessica. Because see, when you don't have your identity, you're latching on to somebody else until you get your own and say, I don't want to be no doggone teacher. I don't want to be no fireman. I don't want to be no nurse and doctor. And see, somebody may think, okay, that's wrong. It's not wrong for you being you. It is not wrong for you not wanting to do what they're doing in the family business. If that's not what God created you to, if he may have created you to be a creator of music, he may created you to be a creator of whatever. And because it's not traditional, because it's not what everybody else is doing, because it's not what the family or somebody individually wants you to do, is wrong. It's not wrong to have dreams. I want to be a child care provider. That changed when I had my kids. I did a 360. See, we gotta, and I think I put a post out there, I believe it was day before yesterday. I said, do you know what you want? Have you forgotten to even think about what you want after you have been married or after you have had children? Because see, a lot of times when we have kids, we put our life to the side for our kids. Men don't in most cases. They go and build a career and build a business because they figure they got the mom to do what. Good morning, Brittany. Thank you so much for joining. But a lot of times now, today is a little different. You got some mamas that will go ghost on you. But most mothers, they're always there. Most of them, a lot of them. That was kind of like back then. What we got going on today. But when we get in relationships as marriage and have children, what is it that we say? You hear so many people say, well, I'll start my career when the kids grow up, and I'll do this when this happen, and I'll do this. But you know what? They do that, but they're miserable on the inside. Good morning, Toshiba. Thank you so much for joining. Women do that. And sometimes men do that. But they do that. They do it because they think that is the right thing to do, and that people is going to like them more, and that this and that and all that and the third. But they are miserable beings. We will put our lives to the side for everybody else while they live their dream and ours die. We live a life of regret. People will live a life of regret because too busy trying to be a people pleaser. And see, people pleasing don't have no limits. It's not just your coworker. It's not just the people at the job. People pleasing people could be people pleasing trying to please your kids. And then when they grow up and see that you ain't the only human in the world, they forget everything that you did for them. A lot of them do. And they go and find their own clique and group, and then they don't want you in their business. And you done felt like, okay, I done did all this. I done put all this to the side, and I didn't do this and I didn't do that. When them kids grow up, they gonna go and live their life because they have found their identity. And a lot of parents try to live their lives through their kids because why? They missed out. So now you want your kid to do what you were supposed to been doing. You want your kids to do what you said you was going to do. And that ain't what they want to do because why? That is not their dream, and that's not their identity. So it's time. You're going to lose some friends. You're going to lose some people that you thought was, we ace buddies and this and that. Yes, I need to stop. You're going to lose some people that you thought, your ride and live chicks. Your ride and live guys. You thought they was going to be there to the end. But some people, when they're not, they're not. If whoever was supposed to be will. And whoever was not supposed to be, they won't. They never will. There's a season and everything. There's a season and a reason for everything. But there is no harm in you having a dream. Because everything that we use, these telephones and these computers and these cars and even having the ability to get on a plane, what the Wright brothers, see, people thought they was crazy. Their neighbors, could you imagine what their neighbors thought as they was out there trying to put a plane up in the air? And then the time when they were able to let it stay in the air for 15 or 17 seconds or whatever. And now you have somebody that is, and now somebody else is improving and improving and improving and improving. If we stop dreaming and stop going after our dream based on somebody else's word, we're going to be miserable while they're having their opinion. So there's no harm in dreaming. Say that, coach. So true. Yes. There is no harm in dreaming. You are afraid to just say, well, I want to be a musician. And your family saying, that's not a real job. That's not a real job. I want to be a stay-home XYZ. That's not a real job. Because, see, we got this mentality that if we're not punching somebody else's clock, we're not working hard, broke, and struggling, trying to pay our bills, that we doing something wrong. No. God ain't told us. I was reading on yesterday, and I mentioned this story quite frequent. With King Solomon, he had the place that he had the temple that he built for God. It had gold in it and all these different sorts of types of things. And then when Queen Sheba came over there, she brought him all type of stuff. It wasn't because he needed it. It's because she saw the work that he was doing. And see, sometimes it's good to be able to pour into the work that somebody else is doing because you know they're blessed. But not only that, when we do what we are purposed to do, he was set out to build that before he built it. God knows what he has us to do. He said, I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. You know, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. How is it that you're supposed to live this life and you're building the kingdom and you're sharing the word and you're bringing knowledge to Jesus Christ, but you are living this miserable life? People, they look at how we live and not the words that we speak. They listen at what they look at what we do more than what they hear us say. You know, that saying that, you do as I say and not as I do, that don't work for this generation. They don't even have that kind of fear. But I want you to realize, I told my girlfriend to watch You Great. I want you to realize that you can dream. You can have an imagination, and I don't care what nobody say. Everything that I've ever had, I had it in my mind first. I would stand to that. I've had it in my mind first. When I went, and I mentioned it on yesterday, when I went to the Netherlands, there was a trip that was drawn out in my mind 2 or 3 years before I actually went. When I went to India in 2018, and see, I don't see the harm. I mean, only thing that is, when you put something in your mind, you know what you got to work towards. You know what you got to focus on. You know what you got to, you prioritize. You know what you got to do. And the things that need to be done to make it actually happen, you would take the steps along the way. This ain't got no doggone hocus pocus. This is not about being funny and thinking that I know the devil can't bring me nothing. He can't bring me nothing. What his job is to do in John 10:10 is to kill my dream. It's to try to destroy my life. He said he's seeking whom he may devour. So he can't bring me the enemy cannot bring me any advice. He can't. The enemy cannot bring me any advice. And with the gift of discernment, even if the enemy is a deliverer, I know what not to take. I know what not to grab a hold to. I know what food not to eat. You know, because your instinct will say, you know what, that's not good. Don't eat that. Something wrong with that. Don't be there. Don't go there. Don't do that. And you listen. You listen. But don't think it is wrong to dream. Some of y'all on here right now, you're miserable. You done live your whole life for somebody else, trying to please your mama, trying to please this person. They didn't live the life of their dream. And do you know, usually when there is welfare recipients in the family, it goes 4 and 5 generations. You know why? It's not because the other 3 or 4 generations didn't have the ability to work. They looked at what they saw their mama and their grandma do, and they got up and they started doing the same thing. They didn't have no drive. They don't know why their mama wasn't working. She probably started because of this and that, and they kept looking at that, and so they did the same thing. People that live in the project, usually it's 4 or 5 generations of people that live in the project. I'm not being funny. It's just, that's statistics, and it's true. Because see, you know, a lot of times when I've heard people, I used to be on a board, and I have heard people that will bring, you tell your daughter, have some kids, but you can get some stamps. So you can get a project. That is what is being programmed into their mind. And that's where we get this stuff where we don't have confidence. Good morning, Anterica. We don't have the confidence. We don't think we're good enough. You know why we don't think we're good enough? Because somebody that we said we loved hurt us. Because they told us you ain't going to be nothing. You trifling. You going to be like your drunk daddy. You like your mammy. That's the stuff that they told you back in the day. And people don't like to hear the truth. So we brush it up under the rug. And you go all your life not thinking thinking about, trying not to think. No, I'm going to put it like this. You go all your life not talking about what they said, but you spend the rest of your life thinking about what they said, and you begin to believe that it's true. You begin to believe that you'll never be nothing. And so that's the way you have. I was not raised like that. That's great. That is great. All the time, Toshiba, and I if you can give me a little more clarity, all the time it's not about your parents told you that. Sometimes it wasn't the people you was raised with. Sometimes it was your school teacher. When you was not what they thought you should be, oh, you're going to be like your drunk daddy. Oh, you're going to be like your this. And you're going to be, it wasn't all the time the way you was raised. Sometimes it was the people you was around. When your parents wasn't right, or if people's parents wasn't right, my mom always worked. But I've heard it. I've been around people just last week. These women are in their 60s. They're in their 70s. They are still in the back of their head. And I don't think that I'm enough. I don't think that I can do it. I don't think that it's possible. There is nothing impossible, because Christ said where we can do all things through him. So when we think that it's not possible, we're not thinking Christ-like thoughts. We're thinking thoughts of the devil that said he come to steal, kill, and destroy us. Good morning, D. Thank you so much for joining. When you have those that are around you to tell you, you ain't gonna never be nothing. Now, Toshiba, you may not have never heard that, but it was a lot of people that did hear that. You have a lot of people right now. They are afraid. They are fearful. They are doubtful because somebody didn't say, and it may have been one time. But they latch on to that one time where somebody said, you can't do that. You cannot do that. That is not, teachers has told me that. You might have wasn't raised like that, but I know you was around it, because it's not many people that was. And they had no clue how you was going to turn out. They had no clue. Good morning, Rashawn. Thank you so much for joining. They had no clue what you was going to be, because most kids are not what they was when they were kids. Some are. But a lot of people, when they have an opportunity to get up and make their own decisions, they do, which goes back to another post I put out that, at some point you should be tired of things going the way they are and make better decisions for your life. You should be tired of the struggle. You should be tired of the rat race. You should be tired of going around on the hamster wheel. You moving and you're moving and you're doing, but you're not getting nowhere. That's why we have generation after generation of poverty. And that's why we don't have legacy. And that's why we can't leave our grandchildren nothing. That's why we don't have no inheritance to leave and to get, because we're not following the word. Some of your so-called friends, yes, you ain't gonna be nothing. That ain't possible. You can't do that. You gotta prove them wrong by doing what you say you gonna do. You don't owe nobody no explanation. You do not owe nobody no explanation on how, if you're living the life that God created you to live. See, some of you get up and go do the work that you do, but that's not the work that you want to do. Some of you go to work because you said that put food on the table, but you miserable. Some of y'all right now TGIFing it. You thank God it's Friday. I like all 7 days of the week. I don't care what day of the week it is, because I can do what I do 7 days a week. I don't have a certain day. I don't have a miserable Monday and a terrible Tuesday and a hump day Wednesday. But you have people, they put names to their misery because they're going to places that do not put a smile on their face, do not make them feel fulfilled, do not have passion. They do it because they're able to put a piece of bread on the table. It's the truth. Some not going to like it. Some not going to agree with it. It's my opinion. You don't have to live by my opinion. It's my opinion. Right? So look, there is nothing wrong with you dreaming. If you know that there is something that you want to do, do it. Do it. Do it. You do what God gave you to do. Unwrap the gift God gave you to do. You do the thing that you're passionate about, and what you going to contribute to the world. Who want to contribute? So who want to contribute? Good morning, Conway. Thank you so much for joining. Who want to contribute to the world, kicking and hollering? I don't want to do that. You want to give what you love to do. You want to give what you love to do, not what you're made to do. You want to give what you're passionate about doing, what you'll do that even if you don't get paid to do it. You want to do that thing because that's what's in you. What is in you want to come out. What is in you got to come out. Don't let nobody force you in. Don't try to put no circle in no square and wonder why it don't fit. That's why a lot of us don't fit in certain places, certain cliques, certain groups, certain organizations, institutions, and around certain people, because they are not what you're supposed to be doing. They're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So you're trying to fit in. You're trying to fit in. You're trying not to say nothing because it's not your thing. Sometimes you have to say, you know what? It was nice, but I got to go. Because you're not being you. You all wrapped up and balled up and folded up, trying to do what everybody else think that you should be doing, but you're not happy. I can't live my life through somebody else's lenses. God don't bless mess. He do not bless mess. God does not bless mess. You can fool a lot of people, but you can't fool God. You can fool a lot of people, but you cannot fool God. And it's not my endeavor to try to even trick him. Because he said he knows all things. He is everywhere at the same time. He know, even with my hair twisted up like this, he know the number of strands of hair that I have on my head. So trying to fool him is a waste of time. God know me. God knows me. But I would not allow the opinion of somebody to make me feel like, you're wrong. You're wrong. Dream. Imagine. Visualize. And live the life of your dream. My parents motivated me, but my relatives told me I was not going to make it. Look at me now. I have passed it on to my daughter to be what God want her to be. Yes. See, it ain't all the time, and I'm so glad you said something, Belinda, because it's not all the time your mom. Because you know, most of the time, a mother and a father, even if we ain't gonna be nothing, they gonna say, that's my baby. A real mother and a real father, people think you crazy. Tell me, now you know that child ain't gonna do nothing. You know that, you will boost up your children. But other people, most of the time when bullying take place, it don't come from your mama and your daddy. It come from the people you went to school with. They the one who was, my mama never called me Big Eye. But everybody I went to school, I ain't gonna say everybody, but you had people, you Big Eye, you Bop, you Popeye, you this eye. I was every eye in the world. But you know what? I didn't let that bother me then, and I don't let it bother me now, because I wasn't being bullied. I wasn't gonna be bullied. That wasn't, I didn't care what you called me. I used to tell them, I don't care what you call me, just don't call me Colette, because I ain't paying for no call. I ain't just got like this. I didn't care about, because I felt like, one, you saying my eyes was whatever, that's your opinion. And two, I didn't make mine and you didn't make yours. So that'd be stupid for me to get mad because you called me something. I don't have no control the size of my eyes. God made these, and now y'all out here buying them. I got natural brown eyes. And so for me to get upset, they called me this and that, I ain't studying you. That's your opinion. And it don't count. That's the way I think. Because see, if I let what people thought, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, you need to sit down, you don't need to be, I wouldn't be doing nothing if I listened to people. But I'm gonna live the life of my dream. And if it calls you to be out of it, okay. You wasn't supposed to be in it. But I don't understand how people's lives and their dreams is so much of a concern to other people that they'll walk out of their life because of something that I want to do that's not ungodly. It ain't like I'm around here saying, oh, look, I'm a prostitute, and you are this or that and da. Come on now. But anyway, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I hope I've said something. Live your dream. You're not too old. It's not too late. Do what you want to do. And bring glory to God in what you're doing. You don't just do it and working for the devil, but you work for God. And God will bless you for what you do. God bless you. If you're new to me, this is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and to get your dream out of your head into your life. Hilarious and true this morning. God bless you. Thank you so much. Good morning, Jordan. Go back and listen at the replay. God bless you.